first gate. Gate 1, which is prepare and pivot, the IQ essential. Now everyone, I will introduce to you to our second speaker. Audrey Tanco was born into an entrepreneurial family where both parents who had an entrepreneurial family who both parents would engage with business ideas while she was growing up. And her siblings were also a part of that. With very little capital, she was able to grow Bizu Catering Studio from a single customer to servicing large-scale parties up to 6,000 guests in a single event. Just as it seems natural for her to take the catering business to the next level, being equipped with both genetic intuition and entrepreneurial guidance, she almost gave up at one point due to the extreme burnout for trying to do so much on her own. She then realized that the need to onboard managers to help her run the business as she pursued self-awareness and better time management. She has then founded 2 more companies, Serve Happy Jobs, a tech-enabled manpower business, and of course, Frozen M&L, a pandemic-born baby business aggregating frozen food in the e-commerce industry. Audrey also wears many hats: a wife, mother, daughter, and entrepreneur. Wow, that is just amazing. She is very grateful for being able to integrate work and life and being able to provide many jobs to our fellow Filipinos. And now, the stage is yours, Audrey.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Mansmith and, of course, Chiki and Josiah. I'd like to first start off with saying that everything I know, I really learned from Mr. Josiah Go. So it's a privilege and it's really an honor and a privilege for me to be speaking in front of you all this afternoon. Thank you. So I am Audrey and I lead Bizu Catering Studio. I will talk to you about my journey in building Bizu Catering Studio, as I have been at it for more than 16 years. The topic presented to me is, of course, Gate 1, IQ. And we will discuss, and I will share also my journey in preparation. So the journey I took to really get this business running. For me, entrepreneurship is truly a huge journey. And until today, I am still inside, really learning. No? I learned so much from Josiah previous to this talk. And it's such a big journey outward and inward as well. And I can say that I'm not perfect, but I acknowledge that there's still a mountain of tasks and a mountain of things not to surpass ahead of me. I love this saying, the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. So I was really intimidated when I had to talk about IQ. But at the end of the day, thank God for Einstein, who told me that my imagination will take me farther, of course. And we'll talk about money, model, and mentors in this discussion today. I'd like to start off by telling you guys about Bizu. Bizu started as a small pastry shop by my mother, and we opened a very small kiosk in Glorieta 4 in 2003. And we were all about cakes and pastries, but innovative ones. So we were very different from the standard American-sized cakes that we were all used to before Bizu. But the road to start was very, very difficult. We needed a commissary because the kind of cakes that we do is a French style. So it's French patisserie, and it can't do it with a backyard kitchen. We needed equipment that was also very, very expensive. In truth, there was even a time that we even had to mortgage our home to get a loan, and we even had to sell a lot of our valuables. That was how dead set my mom was in building Bizu. But lo and behold, we produced the most beautiful cakes in Metro Manila. So Bizu Patisserie, this is what we are all about. Cakes are not merely baked, they are created. They are not merely kept on glass cabinets, they are put on pedestals. Each piece as delicate and beautiful as a piece of art. And that is what we wanted to share. We wanted to share the art of patisserie to Metro Manila in the year 2003. Making French patisserie products needs a different facility and more equipment, and it was just really getting expensive. But we opened with a bang because of our unique and imaginative products that my mom and her chef created, inspired by her trips to Europe when she had a garment export business that closed down. She was very entrepreneurial. We made beautiful pastries, and it inspired a new generation of pastry making in the country. And we had to open many branches after that because we opened the commissary, which had big overheads. And there was no way but to have this commissary. And we had to open multiple branches to support it. And here are our branches. We had in Alabang Town Center, Glorieta, Greenbelt, even in St. Luke's. Then we opened in Robinson's Magnolia. And then we now have a branch here in Miranilla, Quezon City. But sometimes, as we were opening our branches, we would get a few calls for small home gatherings. And despite the difficulty in operations, we would pursue just to add more cash flow. So we were already building a small catering business, but it was just so small that we would have maybe 1, 2, or 3 events per month. And that would already make us very, very happy. One day, I always told this to my sister-in-law. Before I got married, my husband's sister was going to get married. And she invited me to come with her to go to the Themes and Motifs Wedding Fair Expo. And inside, I saw the most beautiful things. I saw beautiful setups. I saw beautiful cakes. And maybe those who have gotten married has already gone to a wedding fair before. So there were beautiful cakes, beautiful dresses, beautiful caterers, beautiful florists, and beautiful gowns. And I knew that Bizu, because we created beautiful things, belonged also in the business of beautiful celebrations. Hence, the next day, I said, we are going to start catering for weddings. So as we built branches and as we created beautiful pastries, my aha was that we were not just about pastries. We were all about the happiness that surrounds eating or partaking beautiful pastries or beautiful food with your family. So hence, the philosophy of Bizu was all about believing in finding joy and beauty in celebrating everyday pleasures. So we were not just in the business of selling cakes, but partaking in celebrations together with beautiful cakes. We enchant those around us with our artistry. Our creations feed the spirit in our expressions of our language of love. Bizu is our art shared with all. So we started small. We started the Bizu Catering Studio. We began as a boutique catering company with fresh and innovative food ideas, stylized designs, and impeccable service 3 years after. And every year since then, as I grew our team, I would challenge our team to grow and reach farther heights. So I recall for many years, I would push my boundaries year after year. If I've succeeded here, where do I go next? So I would always take our team to the next level. And I knew that there was no one to compete with but with myself. And so that's how we started. But of course, as we grew, challenges were always there until today. Challenges never stopped. And they say, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And so here I was, ready to face all the challenges that would come my way head on. First challenge was money. Because we already mortgaged most of what we had. To grow the catering business, which needed more equipment, more manpower, more of everything. It was a struggle, really, to start finding money. So how do we start without money? One way I learned is from customers. So there's so many ways they told me that you can find money. You can find money through suppliers. You can find money through the bank. You can find money through friends and relatives. But through this, we were very lucky that we were able to find money from our customers. Because we are in a very capital-intensive business, we had to start small. So what we did was we received 50% down payment to fund our caterings. So it was really a long process for us. So remember, so if you had gotten married before or gotten a party caterer, you would have to fund 50% right before the event. So with that money, I recall I had to buy our equipment, I had to buy plates, I had to buy napkins, and then buy ingredients. And the profits that I got from each catering was used to further roll in and grow. So it was a very long and tedious process, but it was more sure-footed for us. So this is my experience in the 4 gates of money. Second challenge was people. How do we find and keep great talent? More than anything, it was very, very difficult. We really encountered people who would steal or people who would just leave. And then what do you do with people who are really, really great for your organization? So until today, we still try our best to align our values with the right people, to always constantly challenge people to grow and to be there for their growth, to properly compensate despite inflation, and to allow them to find meaning and purpose in our organization. Another is product. And really, what are we selling? Steak is steak, fish is fish. Everyone wants to eat steak and fish and chicken. But we sell more than just food. We sell art, beauty, an expression of love, and a lifestyle. And everything else just followed. The way we presented it, the way we created it, is just a little bit more different. And in the process of doing all this, how do many moving parts really fall into place? When we talked about execution a while ago as one of the 4 gates, we had to keep building capacity and developing new systems as we constantly evolve. So we always had to plan ahead, we made mistakes, and we had to keep pivoting and growing. So it was really a part of everything. When we start, I remember how difficult it was sometimes when we had to do a catering event and sometimes even the driver will be absent. And I recall going outside the street to hail a taxi cab so that I can bribe a taxi driver to drive my truck for me because I couldn't drive. If I just knew how to drive a truck, I would have probably done it myself. So then we had to refine the processes or the pitfalls, no, that when there were a lot of holes in our process or procedures that it would not flow smoothly, we had to keep rebuilding and keep growing, no, and improving all the systems in place. And really, it's a lot of iterations week on week with our team on how we could improve, in how we could develop also our new tasks. And lastly is our model. Business model, as Josiah Go mentioned a while ago, well, it's really a big, entirely big process. Today, we are a transactional business model. We get a client who wants our food, and then we exchange it with the food and services for the event itself. And the way we add value is in how we execute all the products and services that they purchase. Something that I do want to evolve is how I can do a repeat-based model, because of course, it would be so much easier for me if I don't have to keep acquiring new customers. And if I could acquire, for example, one corporate customer who will get me for the entire year, it would just be a better model for me. So this is an example of how I evaluate the current model of our business. I found it also difficult, and also when I opened up other businesses, I found it difficult to innovate or disrupt a model of an industry that I could not really fully grasp. So it's very important that I learned, it's such a big learning for me that when I do innovation, I have to be inside a very solid business and I have to be strong in a traditional business model. And then I learn how to break the rules when I'm already inside and very strong. So during the pandemic, for example, we were able to create gourmet meals to send out. I created an entire ordering process, and people were able to have or celebrate still in their, to celebrate their parties, their corporate events, or even their social milestones, even through Zoom. And so we had to develop new systems in e-commerce and also develop new systems in delivering gourmet food with our cakes and our ready meals to different households at one go. So there was a time that we would even be delivering up to more than 500 addresses for a special event. And so with our small steps, we were able to achieve big dreams through time. Richard Branson said, if your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. I am a big believer of really dreaming big. I'm a big believer of having a great big vision and telling our team all about it so that we can all go there the same way. And our team's wins are defined by the following. I always tell them that we are winners when we do the following. When we do our best in every event, we are winners. When we do not stop improving, when we have repeat customers and our customers are so happy that they would come back. And I would even tell them that if 80% of our customers come back and we grow 20% more month on month, then we have a business. And when customers even trust us to do the most challenging feats. So year on year, we do really hard and challenging feats. So before, when we started our catering for 10 people, we would do 30 people. And today we would do 6,000. And the moving parts are just so huge, but we would really be inspired for all these challenging feats to take us to the next level. I would like to share with you a video, 2 videos that would show the breadth of work that we do. The first video shows how we did our 6,000 packs catering, and we just did another one just this Monday. And also another video I'll show is the breadth of work that we do as we take our catering even to General Santos City. So we also brought our caterings down until Zamboanga, or we would bring our caterings through islands in Siargao. And that's the breadth of scale that we are able to do as a team. So let me share this. So my next presentation would be about how we transported an entire catering business to General Santos. And this video is made by Tina Barreto, who is a very renowned events coordinator who took our services on to deliver Bizu to other provinces, even how far it is. So those were just two of the videos to show you the breadth of work that our company is able to do coming from a very small business through the years. So those are our team wins and our big wins and our big dreams. And lastly, I'll talk about my mentorship. So I'm a mentee. And my mentor is Jason. I asked permission if I could say his name. So my mentor is Jason Ko, and he's a chairman of Leborem, which has 7 businesses under its belt. And I meet with him every month, and we discuss not just the business, but really more importantly, my journey or growth as an entrepreneur. There. So he always told me I told him I would share my biggest takeaways. And one of the biggest is really have very, very, very clear goals. And clarity is such an important thing to have, no? It's such an important pointer. Clear, I always learned that clear is kind. It's being kind to everyone, not just, to yourself and to all the people that you work with, your vision, your purpose, and how you communicate it with them. He always told me that you find what you seek. So you have to have it so clear in your realm that these goals are really what you want to have, right? It's very clear. And that the plan to get there is also very clear. I also have to identify all the problems that really come along the way. And I have to do a root cause analysis of every single problem. And I always use the 5 whys method. He always told me to think, write, and tell. So these are the things that mentors really do for a really great mentor would do for me. And he would tell me if this is really what I want. And they really ask me the right questions. So if I really want to get there, I have to really think about it. And I have to write about it. And I have to tell everyone about it. And that the path for me is never a straight line. There's no business that you will do that there's a straight line towards that goal, or else that would just be too easy. But as you create a clearly defined plan, know that in the design, it can always change, So don't really stick to it like that's the only thing that I can do, right? So based on situations, based on external factors, the plan can always change. And it allows me to step back and move forward and execute it. But the most important thing is I have to complete my goals. So if there were 4 key takeaways from this session, this simple session, these are key points from me. So from small to big, it really starts with a great big idea. And through the challenges that we will encounter, make sure that you're able to identify and not tolerate the problems. right? And we have to really overcome the challenges that come our way. Number 3 is have a clear vision and a clearly defined path. So I already showed you also the many challenges that came by me as I went through this path. But more importantly, at the end of the day, preparation, which is what we're learning today, takes real time and effort. It is not easy whatsoever. In creating an event, in creating a business, or whatever we did, I always believed in the 5 Ps, which is proper preparation prevents poor performance. So having the first gate here of preparation, if you do this right, then it can open a lot of pathways from there on. But if in the preparation portion alone, it's not done well, there's no solid foundation to go by. So that is what I would like to leave everyone this afternoon with. Thank you very much.